Okay, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. I wanted to first let you know that since we have such a large number of participants, we have everyone muted. That's just so the presentation will run more smoothly without any feedback. But if you do want to chime in with any questions or comments, please go ahead and use the chat box that is available through Zoom. Without any further delays, we can go ahead and get started.
Thank you, everybody, for joining. I'm Suzanne Pritchett, the Region Director from VWR, responsible for University of Tennessee. We also have some of our reps that are involved and on the line, Nicole Wolkin, Julie Fulcher, and hopefully Julie Wilson in our Memphis location. I know on this slide it seems strange that we've got the company name Avantor. I promise I will discuss what that's all about, but maybe the most important thing to know is we're going to jump to the next slide, and we believe in rewarding people's participation and listening in to the content that we're covering. So this is one of the most important slides that you're going to see. There's a $10 Starbucks gift card. We're going to have 3 opportunities to win, and in order to win, we just are going to need you to be able to email one of your reps, Julie Fulcher. So please take a minute to write this email address down. It's going to be critically important as you move forward. So julie.fulcher, Fulcher, @vwr.com. Take note of Julie's name. She is our sales associate out on campus every day in Knoxville and Chattanooga, and she will be the person who will be getting your quiz answers so you have the opportunity to win. All right, so let's talk about quickly Avantor and VWR, because Avantor may not be a name that you're familiar with. Avantor is a chemical manufacturing company, a global distributor of fine chemicals. If you have been in the industry for a certain length of time, you may know the name Mallinckrodt or J.T. Baker. So Avantor is the company that has manufactured those brands for a very long time. And in November last year, Avantor acquired VWR. Now, VWR is a distribution company that supplies scientific products across the world. And with our partnership with Avantor, we now have a very strong manufacturing supply chain on the chemical side, combined with the VWR portfolio and very strong presence, where we are very close to our customers across the globe. So just so you know, VWR's logo and our branding has recently changed. There is a picture on the website. Just be aware, it's the same company, the same people, we just have a new owner. So as the two combined companies, we have the opportunity to really help our customers. So we have the full service lab distribution with our very broad product portfolio. We now have beaker to bulk production offering on chemicals. Some of that is highlighted towards biopharmaceutical, but certainly in the academic space, we cover everything that scientists may need. We have expanded service offerings through the company, investment in technology, and a very strong geographic presence. So just a reminder, back in March of 2017, VWR became a preferred supplier to UT. So we are in UT's marketplace with a full punch out to VWR's website. We have expanded content, easy ordering from quotes, where you can get lead time, stocking information, shipment tracking, and easy access to documents. And that's going to be some of the things that we are going to highlight in this webinar. Where do I find this information? By logging into the UT marketplace. As a reminder, we offer very competitive pricing. There's free shipping. We, as part of the contract, did very strong competitive pricing on the things that are important to UT. We sought manufacturer cost improvements that are only available through VWR, and we have no hazardous material or dry ice charges and free shipping. And just a reminder, and some of you may not know this, most of your orders would be coming from Suwanee, which is a suburb of Atlanta. So if you place your orders by noon, they should be delivered next day. So these are the people that we have supporting UT and your contract. So Julie Fulcher, who we got the first email to, she's the one who's going to be taking your quiz information. We've got Nicole Wolken, who's the account manager, covering campuses across the state with the exception of Memphis. Julie Wilson is focused on Memphis. We also have Ray Thomas, who's a life science specialist who focuses on the more technical nature of our life science portfolio. Dan Irwin is a furniture specialist. He can work on any kind of renovation, build out that you may have in your lab, any kind of item that might be considered furniture, tables, chairs, carts, flammable cabinets, eye wash stations, safety showers. These are the types of things that Dan can help with. And I am Suzanne Pritchett. I am the region director and responsible for sales. We did just get a quick question. If you order by noon Eastern Standard Time, your order should be fulfilled and delivered next day if it's coming from our Atlanta distribution center. We do try to get orders in the early afternoon processed as well, but it is our normal rhythm that anything received by noon Eastern Standard Time would be delivered next day if it's coming from that warehouse. So we're going to move to our first quiz question. Opportunity to win a $10 Starbucks gift card. Hopefully this one will be easy. So name a VWR sales rep that you can contact if you have a question or need a quote. So we just gave you 6 answers. There are 3 main reps that cover campuses. We have one in Memphis. We have one who covers other campuses and one who really focuses in Knoxville. So we'll give you all a second. And the chat, if you're watching the stream, may give you some help. All right, so I'm gonna ask Nicole Wolken if you can jump over to the UT Marketplace. This is where we're gonna start doing a demonstration of some of the functionality that we have on the website that hopefully you find to be helpful. So we're just gonna get right into the marketplace and show you how you can access some of the information that we're going to be highlighting. All right, we're just waiting for it to come up. Thank you for your patience. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into the UT Marketplace. We're going to go to the punch out through VWR. And what we'll do is we'll highlight some of the things that are accessible to you through the VWR link to the website. So I tend to tell people that I'm a mom and I love the way Amazon works because I can go and order things at any time of day or night. I can get my tracking information. I can get information about my past history and things like that. And that's one of the things VWR has done to make our website very convenient for you. we really have emulated some of the functionality that people have become addicted to in on Amazon's website, and some of those things are now built into VWR, so it's very straightforward and convenient to utilize.
We're having some issues accessing the marketplace. I think Casey's browser's out of date, and so we're going to try to work on fixing that behind the scenes, and we'll just continue with the webinar and then come back to the marketplace.
So we have slides where we can continue. I've got screenshots that we can use as opposed to that. So why don't we keep going? We use the screenshots that I've prepared in anticipation of this, and then if we get the marketplace up and running, we can go and do more of a live demo. Okay, so this is a screenshot of what it looks like when you punch out to VWR's website. So up on the upper right-hand corner, you'll see that there's a My Account tab. And under My Account, one of the things that we really want to highlight to people is there's a lot of information that's available to you under the My Orders designation. So if you hover your cursor over My Account, you will be able to see this pull-down menu where you're going to see My Orders, and it's also available on the left-hand side when you log into your profile, so My Orders. So that's where we want to click to get some of the detailed information that I'm going to highlight for you. So when you click on My Orders, this is the landing page that will come up. I will tell you, it does take a minute to think about loading everything that's there. So when you first get here, just give it 20 or 30 seconds to fully load on the page. But you'll see, as I've highlighted in the screenshot, there's the ability to search by a number. So if you have a purchase order number of a specific order that you're looking for, you can search by that number. You can search by a specific catalog number that you've ordered in the past. If you have a VWR order number, an invoice number, any of those numbers that you may have, you can put into this box. The secondary highlight on the page is filtered by who placed the order. There's a pull-down box here, and you can actually see your email address where you can then look at orders only placed by you. So this is an example of what that page looks like at the bottom half of the page. So as you sort of give it a second to load, it will automatically populate orders that have been coming in with the dates that they were placed. So you don't necessarily need to search by a specific number. If you don't have it, it should just load, but that can be a little easier for you. So this would enable you to sort of scan down. There are hyperlinks to those orders that you can click on. You can sort by the date. So if you want to prioritize it, so if you click on the date at the top, it can sort it by oldest or by newest. You can also sort by the total. So if you had an idea that it was one of the more expensive orders you placed, you click on that and it will sort it. But when you click through that hyperlink on your order number, this is what you'll see. You'll see details about that specific order that you have placed. So I'm going to highlight some things here when you click through to that order. So highlighted at the top, you can see that there's reorder items or cancel orders. So if, for example, you placed an order and then you realized that you accidentally picked the tubes that didn't have the cap, or you added the wrong size to your basket and checked out, you do have the ability to cancel by line items on the order. The information that we have in our system keeps, we have a coding system based on where the order is in processing, and if it's actually managed to get onto a truck, then the button would then change to rather than cancel an order, it would be initiate a return. So if there's any problems. So up to a certain point in our order process, there is the ability to cancel a line if you've ordered something in error. But if it does get down that process and it's already out for delivery or been put on a truck, then we would then have the ability to initiate a return. If you've ordered something in the past, you could have really that easy reorder button where it can populate into your order. Now, in this particular screenshot, we just see something that is ready for shipment. Hopefully we'll get the marketplace up and running, and we'll do a demonstration of some items that have already shipped. But as soon as the item ships, the information, the UPS tracking information then becomes available just below the description of the product that you've ordered. There's a hyperlink that you'll be able to go out to UPS's website and get fully detailed tracking information. So if you're wondering when you can expect your shipment, as soon as it's shipped, that information will then become available. After it's shipped, you also, below the ship to attention information on the upper left-hand side of the screen, you will also have billing documents. So every invoice related to this particular order will also be posted on this page as a place where you can then go and download PDF copies of the invoices. So I see that somebody is trying to do this as we're going along, indicating that they're having login issues in terms of getting into the VWR punch-out from the UT Marketplace. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to defer to Blake on how to troubleshoot those, and maybe we can touch base on that at the end of the presentation. So which login information is required to get to that stage. Now, one of the things that you can do on our website, which is very convenient, is that you can create shopping lists. Now, if you're somebody who orders for more than one person, this is something that's very convenient. You can keep a running list of the things that a particular PI or a particular student has been ordering. We have some people that will do this in their labs for particular experiments that they run. I've had labs that decide that they have a week 1 order list, week 2 order list, week 3 order list. You can customize this to be whatever you want. So to create your own shopping list, what you need to do is go to your basket on the VWR punch-out and make sure that it's completely empty. So building a shopping list, you ideally want to start with a clean slate and decide what you ultimately want on that shopping list. So what you can do is you then can enter particular catalog numbers that you want to add to your basket. So just so you're fully aware, you can search our website for a VWR part number. You can actually put a competitor part number. So if you have a Fisher part number, a Sigma part number, all of those can be put in. It should cross-reference that item to the exact same item or something with very close specifications. You can also search off of a manufacturer's part number. So in this example that we're looking at, the Kim wipes, that is it's Kimberly-Clark's part number 34155. So if we enter that, it will directly reference that, find you the VWR part number that is a match for that particular product. So as you create your basket, you are effectively creating a shopping list. So as you add those items to your basket, you can get a complete list, or you can over time build a shopping list, and we'll show you how that's done. So on the next slide, we're going to show you, if you scroll to the bottom of the page where your basket is, this is what you're going to see at the bottom. So you could be checking out like you were doing a standard order, or on the far left-hand side, there's a save as a shopping list option. You could also start your basket from a shopping list or start your basket from a custom catalog. The custom catalog is the special, very competitively priced list that was created for UT. So you can actually go and see those specific items where we've got really competitive pricing on some of the things that you use all the time, like your gloves, your goggles, your tubes and tips and things that are very common. So from here, you can save it as a shopping list. You can also email your shopping list to somebody else. So let's say, for example, that you are considering a new project in your lab and you're interested in looking at some new equipment, a variety of things, and you're interested in getting a quote from VWR. You could actually add the items that you're looking at into your basket and then click on share your shopping basket and email that to your VWR rep so they could give you a quote. So just be aware that that's functionality that's available to you. So if you were to click on save as a shopping list, this is a screen that you'll then see. It has those items that we had put in our basket. You have the opportunity to either add it to an existing list that you may have already started or to create a new list. So in this particular demonstration, we're going to create it as a new list. When you hit submit, it then saves that, and then you have the ability to go back and look at it again. Now, when we were on our first slide of the demonstration, there was the My Account tab when you log in. If you hover your cursor over that, in addition to My Orders, you will also see shopping lists as a link. And from those shopping lists, you can then link to those lists that you've saved. And when you're interested in ordering from those shopping lists, you would just need to adjust the quantities on the items that you're interested in having, add them to your basket, and check out. Oh, there we go. I had a screenshot of that. I wasn't sure. So there you go. You can see the shopping list. That is where you will go back and find that information. So you can easily get back to those lists. Because it's customized and there's a limitless number that you can have, you can create as many personalized lists as you want. And again, this is extremely helpful for people who order for other people. So when you go and look at those personal shopping lists, you'll get a list of all the ones that you've done. It'll tell you the items that are on it. So if you were to click on the list name, it'll give you the detailed information about those items that are on that personal shopping list. And here again, you have the ability to share this list with somebody else. So let's use the example that you've been ordering for a lab and now you are moving into a different role and somebody else is going to be taking over your job. Instead of losing all of that information about what the lab has used and what's been preferred by people in the past, all you would need to do is share your list. When you click on share, it asks you for the email address of the person that you want to share it with. And if that person wanted to then save that as a shopping list, what they would do was they would log into their VWR profile through the UT Marketplace. They would click on your link to look at the items that you were sharing, add those items to their basket, and then they would then go to the bottom left-hand side, share it as a shopping list, and there all of your work is now shared to their desktop. They can have easy access to those lists. And again, from your list, you can add any of those items to your basket. You don't have to add them all. You could do them all at once. You can adjust the quantities, but that way you don't have to have little pieces of paper trying to keep track of what you've ordered in the past, trying to remember what particular tube it was that somebody had. It's all saved, and as long as whenever you put things in your basket, you add them to a shopping list or create a new list, it will be there for you. So once, if you've ever asked for a quote from VWR, or you share your basket with your rep and they then tell you that there's a quote available, they'll send you a PDF copy of a quote but we do have functionality on our website that you can very easily go in and just add that item to order directly from that item, so you're getting that discounted pricing. So in the same place, the My Accounts tab on this, the landing page when you enter, if you click on My Quotes, click through, it will show you any quotes that are tied to you, or you can also key in the quote number that you've been given. It will give you the ability to see those items on your quote, add them to your cart. Again, you can adjust the numbers of how many you want. Well, so let's say we provided you with a quote with 3 different freezers because you were trying to figure out which one met your needs. You could ultimately just add one of those to your basket and check out. If by any chance you have any difficulty pulling up a quote, contact your VWR sales rep immediately. If it has, the expiration date has passed, it will not be visible, so we may just need to extend the expiration of your quote to make it visible to you. And occasionally, there's just a checkbox that we have internally to make that visible to you online. Occasionally, it gets accidentally missed, so it's a very quick fix. If you tell us, we can usually get that back visible to you very, very quickly. So we just ask you to reach out if you have any problems. So this is what it looks like when you click through on your quote. You can see the specific details of the items that you want. You can uncheck them on the left-hand side if you're not interested in having that added to your basket. You can adjust the quantities, and then you can add those items to your basket. So it's very straightforward. You don't have to do anything special in terms of filling out forms, attaching things. It is all backlinked to VWR's system where that discounted pricing originated from, and that makes it move very quickly through our system for quick fulfillment to ensure you're getting that special pricing that you've requested. So we've got another opportunity to win a $10 gift card. I would ask you not to chat out your answer. Please email it to julie.fulcher, Fulcher, @vwr.com. And the question is where do I go on the website to find shipping information, invoices, or to reorder items? All right, we'll give everybody just a second to submit an answer. So again, it's to Julie Fulcher, your sales associate, if you are in Knoxville. And it's julie.fulcher @vwr.com. Okay, let's keep moving. So one of the things that we experience as a distributor that ships a lot of products is invariably something will happen and somebody may get damaged, or something will not go right with the shipping of the material. So we just want to talk through some of the best practices with receiving material. And it's especially important in an academic setting, especially where you don't have centralized receiving. So the reality is that UPS, FedEx, we have a lot of carriers that are bringing a lot of material on and off your campus, and there's liability that ends up being incurred on your institution based on people following the proper receiving practices. And if you don't, it puts you at higher risk of taking on the burden of responsibility if there's any problems with your shipments. So just want to go through this. This is really important that people know this, that they abide by this. Certainly share this with anybody in your departments, because your ability to return something, get a credit, have it covered, getting a freight claim is really important on you, just following some basic principles of proper receiving. So when you get a shipment, no matter what it is, if it's something small, if it's something large, expensive, it should be inspected upon receipt, and immediately, if UPS hands you something to sign, it is your responsibility to look and see if there's anything damaged. If you sign it without noting on the delivery receipt that you see visible damage, they consider that they've delivered it intact. I have literally had customers contact me indicating that they received an order that was wrapped in a garbage bag. So I promise you, VWR does not ship in a garbage bag, but something got broken along the way. A UPS driver rewrapped the shipment in garbage bag and tried to convince the person to sign for it as delivered, and it was damaged and there was all sorts of problems. So if it doesn't look right to you, if it doesn't look like the box is intact, if you can hear glass shards, if there's anything leaking, absolutely 100% you need to note on the delivery receipt that it is damaged. You can also, on the delivery receipt, if you have any concern, you can also note may have concealed damage. UPS drivers do not like that because there's a potential risk that there's going to be a freight claim. But if you have any concern, that really covers you in terms of your liability with regards to the receipt of that shipment. If something is being delivered to you and you see significant damage, do not sign for it. Refuse it. If you refuse it, then it will be taken back by UPS and they will have to work with us, the shipper, to resolve the situation, and it takes you out of the liability. Now, in some cases, if it's just, some glassware, things like that, VWR is going to take care of you very quickly. We'll send out a replacement order. But this is really important. If there's any large pieces of equipment, if you see visible damage to the piece of equipment, you are best to refuse delivery, do not sign for it, and do not have the carrier take it off your truck. Another important person, this may seem obvious, but this in an academic situation happens very frequently. If it's not your shipment, do not sign for it, especially if it's a large piece of equipment. So we had a situation recently at Vanderbilt where a grad student was walking down the hall. The UPS person was delivering a $10,000 ULT freezer and just convinced the grad student to sign for it. It wasn't for their lab, it wasn't theirs. And by that student signing for it, it is now owned by the university. And when they had a problem with it, in terms of something being damaged on it, the liability then went on the institution rather than on UPS. So if it's not yours, please do not sign for it. If you get something that is damaged, the best protocol is that you should keep it in the original packaging. It is much, much easier to do any type of return, credit, freight claim if the original packaging is kept intact. This enables us to have real visible proof with the carrier that there's been damage to it in transit. And if you begin moving items, so let's say you get a big piece of equipment, it's brought to your dock, it is damaged. If you start moving it throughout the building, then there becomes dispute about who created the damage to begin with. So the more that you touch it, or if you take any of the packaging away, it then becomes a situation where the carrier then tries to lay the blame on the person who's received the material rather than you. So we strongly recommend that you don't move the item, that you do not discard the original packaging. Now, even with concealed damage, there's a very limited opportunity for a freight claim to be filed. So UPS has a 24-hour within delivery to file a freight claim for concealed damage. So if you suspect any damage, you should, regardless, any package that you receive, you should open it right away, inspect it, and make sure it works, because we do have a very limited time window in which we can file a freight claim. If you get equipment, take it out of the box, plug it in. I understand that sometimes when you're especially starting a new lab, you have a lot of materials coming in. People will just relegate the boxes to a corner. I'll unpack it when I'm ready. But that actually increases your risk. So if you can take a couple minutes to take the item out of the box, plug it in, confirm that everything is operational and functional, it will dramatically increase the likelihood that you're covered in the event of an out-of-box failure. So we've dealt with returns or problems where people have discarded the original packaging. They haven't used the item for several months because they had a big project and they just relegated it to a corner. And then they went to plug the equipment in and found there was an out-of-box failure. So just be aware that most manufacturers, they will cover out-of-box failures, but there's a limited time window in which you have to provide that claim. So we very, very strongly recommend, before you get rid of any of the original packaging, that you plug things in, you make sure that they start up the way they're expected to, and that just covers you in case there's any failure. So this is just a screenshot of a VWR packing slip. This is what you would get at the time of delivery. We have highlighted on there to inspect your shipment that we want you to note any damage on the waybill, hold on to your packaging, and contact us within 24 hours of concealed damage. So it is printed on everything that we ship out with our deliveries, and just strongly recommend that you follow those procedures to ensure that you're getting appropriate credits, replacements, and that you are really covered for any kind of shipping damage that may happen. And then if you do end up getting something that is damaged, glassware is a very common one. Unfortunately, UPS is not very gentle with glassware, so it's something that we deal with on a daily basis at VWR. So we can certainly take care of you and help you. We do need some information when you contact us, so we want to know your order number, the part number that's affected, the quantity that were damaged. If you can take pictures, we file the freight claims with UPS, and we do all the collections with them directly. So any photographs that you have that can support the fact that it was damaged in transit is very helpful. We are interested in knowing with whom we should be corresponding, and who, in the event that there needs to be an inspection by UPS, which is very frequent, that they need to come and look at the shipment, who the point of contact would that be. We want to know if you signed for it. So if it doesn't look right, do not sign for it, send it back. That's your best course of action. But if somebody did sign for it, we do need to know that. And has the product been moved from the receiving area? This is especially important if it's a large piece of equipment, in the event that there's concerns about whether it's been, the damage has been caused by the carrier or by the customer. Again, it's best if you do not move it from where it was delivered. If there is any kind of damage, it will dramatically increase the likelihood that you get a full credit and are covered. So we're going to do our last quiz question. Again, if you can email your response to Julie Fulcher, julie.fulcher@vwr.com. So name one of the best practices that I just highlighted for the receipt of material. So I just got a question about UPS deliveries usually have an electronic signature. We can note damage. Can we note damage on the electronic pad? That's a very good question. I think in those situations, you should not sign for it. So if you see if they're shoving the electronic pad in your hands and you note damage, I would refuse to sign and tell the UPS delivery person that you need to note that there's been damage. If they key something into the electronic pad and you can read it and confirm that they've keyed in there's visible damage, then I would consider signing, but only if it's something that you would consider sort of inexpensive. If it's something like a large piece of equipment, I would send it back. I would not sign for it, and I would have the carrier take the material with them. But I would refuse to sign if they can't show you that they've made a note that there's concealed damage or there's damage. So just going to go back quickly to the answers to the quiz question, I just want to do one last review, and then there's the contact information from the team. So we'll go back one slide so everybody can see just a quick summary of the answers to receiving material. So don't sign for material that's not yours. Note damage on the delivery receipt. Refuse to sign and receive material if significant damage is visible. Make sure that you're inspecting all material for concealed damage within 24 hours, including plugging in equipment and assuring it's operational. Do not discard any of your packaging material until delivery has been fully inspected and no damage is noted, and then call VWR as soon as possible to initiate a claim and send us pictures if you can. So just as a last step, just a reminder of who your VWR reps are. And we are very happy to step in and help with anything that you need. If you need a quote, if you need help sourcing material, if you're looking for anything for your lab, or you need help with any kind of damage, delivery. Hopefully that's not happened very often, but we do hope that this was a helpful little reminder of some of the key things to keep in mind as you're accepting shipments. And with that, I will see if there's any further questions. I don't see anything further in the chat, but if there's any further questions, please feel free to reach out to any of us and we'd be very happy to step in and help. Thank you so much for your attention. And again, my apologies for the early issues with the audio.
Thank you so much, Suzanne. And thank you to everybody who joined today. I hope the information was helpful. We will go ahead and end the meeting now. Thanks.